Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So I've got another junk journal video for you. It's another one in my Edith Holden series, and it's another one that is doing the challenge in the Facebook group, junk journaling for everyone. So this is challenge week 2 and 3. So week 2 was to make and decorate the pages for one signature, and then week 2 was to make the second signature and add pockets and things. So this video is doing them both together. So I show you how I did the pages, which were decorated doing this stenciling, and some were decorated further by adding from this side by adding some book pages and images as well. And then I go on to show you how I did all the other pockets and things. Now it is quite a long video. I've done quite a bit of speeding up. If there's bits where I've speeded up too much, I'm not sure if when I show you how to do the flip out, if I might have done that too fast. If I have, you can go into settings and you can slow the video down. You'll obviously have my voiceover then talking a bit funny, so you might want to turn the sound off. But yeah, I'm hoping that you'll be able to gather from the video how I did it. So yeah, I just didn't want to do multiple parts really. I just wanted to get it all out in one go. So because I'm actually a week behind. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. So I've taken 6 sheets of coffee stained A4, and I'm literally just folding them in half and burnished them to make a signature. And now I'm taking some of my Stampin' Up masks and I'm doing a bit of inking over the page. At this stage in the challenge, it was just to make 6 pages, and then challenge 2 was to make 6 more and add pockets. So here I'm just trying out some different ideas using my Quiet Meadow dies there to die cut from the Edith Holden page. And then I made this stencil with those dies, just cut it out of thicker card so I could stencil on a page, and I really liked the way that looked. And then I decided to add a bit of a doily effect, and normally I add doilies as pages. I've not stuck them like this to a page before, but I really liked the way it turned out, and it sort of added a little bit of strength there to the bottom of that page, which is quite nice if I'm going to adorn it with anything. So just a matter of trimming it off. And I think that worked out really, really well. And then I was sort of deciding whether or not I wanted to add any of those die cuts. And in the end, I decided to just do a little bit of stenciling on it with those images, which I thought went really well with the Edith Holden theme. And then I just added a bit of stamping with the stamp set that goes with those dies, the Quiet Meadow stamp set, which I really like for journals. And then there's my Very For Size stamp set, which I really like that script to add to it. So then I decided I'd add a little bit of vintage paper. So I'm using music paper on this one, and then I do another one with some vintage encyclopedia. So doing a little bit of stamping around the edges of the bit of coffee stained paper that you see, and inking up my vintage sheet and sticking that down and making sure it's flat. And I say I'll do it again now with the vintage encyclopedia, and that adds a bit of strength to the page. And so if I'm going to add pockets or anything on the other side, it's got a bit of reinforcement to sort of hold it up. And then just add again some stamping, and then I'm decided to add those die cuts, but I'm going to add a bit of colour to them, so just watercolouring there with some of my Stampin' Up inks to add a flash of colour to them, and sticking them down just to add a little bit of something. So I'm not using any digitals in this journal. It's all the pages of the book and any other things that I've got. So yeah, just sticking those in, deciding which ones that I want to use. I didn't use them all in the end. And that's the page done. So I went through and then sort of simply decorated all the pages using those masks that I'd created with my die cuts, and did a bit of stamping, and decided that that was a better way of doing my pages. I didn't want to add too much just yet. So for the challenge 2 of making 6 pages, that's what I did. And then challenge 3 was to make another 6 pages and add pockets and things. So I've been doing that and just creating simple pockets, and I've done an envelope there. That one's actually upside down. I was obviously decided to go on the other side. So I just made that from page. I'm not sure how I'm going to attach it yet. That was the page I showed you. And then I just sort of added a doily in there. Added a quick tuck in there. This is just decorated to give a bit of strength to this bit of the page, because on this side I've created a pull out here, and let me get one of my tags that I've made. So we've then got a pocket there and a tuck there as well. So nice big journaling space there and there. And then I've got a great big pocket there, which I probably would put a big journaling card like that in. So plenty of space. I didn't leave these open. They're just glued down. I've got a little one there, which I thought I'd put there. I haven't quite decided. And then that's a big pocket there that I've created with that lovely image. And then I'm doing this one, so I thought I'd show you how I do that. And then I've got another pocket there that I was just going to place on the back. So I thought what I'd do, I wanted to just sort of like create and have a play, and then do a video of showing what I was doing. So, and I had an idea for the sort of centre spread. We've got these lovely that I got out of sort of like the middle of the signature, which I just think is beautiful. Some of these, some I like more than others, particularly like those two. Not so much that one. I like that one. That's nice. That's okay. But sort of, I didn't want to cut into these, so I thought they might make a nice centre page, and the images on the back are obviously single page images. So my thoughts was actually to have this as a centre sort of spread in the middle of each signature. I just thought that in itself would be pretty, and then maybe have an envelope or something attached to it. That goes quite nice with that one. Oh, that probably goes better. Oh no, that's the wrong side. Yeah, so we'll leave it at that one. Yeah, I thought that would be nice. Then I'd have to take a page out, so actually that might end up being on another journal. Because this becomes a page in itself. So that's my thoughts. So I'm going to put that back in for now. So move those out of the way. So we need to cut it down. So using this sort of as a template for this centre, that I've got to keep the middle fold where the middle fold is, and then I could just trim it like so. Didn't particularly want to lose any of the words, but I will lose some of those words, which can't really be helped, because my thoughts were to sort of stick them back on there. So I am gonna cut this down. So if I wrap that round, I can cut it down so it is the same size. So that is half a page of A4 there. And we are 8 1/4 tall. So we've still got some of that beautiful, all of that beautiful image. I've got some of these here that I could label if I wanted to. So that's set for the go to the centre there. That would be a nice centre signature. Protrudes a bit, obviously because it's in the centre. I might need to trim a bit more off it at the edge actually. And I was just a little bit worried about the strength of this. It's got quite a lot of holes on, so I thought I might strengthen it with some paper. So if I take a little bit of, take that one slightly better, yeah, take a bit of that. This was started off as cream paper that coffee dyed, and I actually thought afterwards I wish I'd started with this. I think it's possibly a better colour for it, but I've started, so I'll finish. So, or I could do the second signature with it. So I thought if I cut a slice of this just to reinforce. So if we go maybe 2 inches. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a rip ruler. I think a rip ruler would be best to give a nice sort of ripped edge to it. So let's rip that down. Too close to the edge. That's better. So if I glue that down there, then that gives it a little bit of strength. I don't want anything down the centre here because that will take away, but I thought that might give it a little bit more strength on there. So I'm going to do a bit of glue stick down it. I won't find where I put my glue stick. I finished one yesterday, so I've got a new one out. Let me find it. There we go, glue stick. I managed to pull the drawers off the runner. So that was why I was having a bit of difficulty. So if I put some glue stick down this, and then some glue all the way along this. should hopefully give it a bit of strength, because we don't want it to fall apart. I did think about masking tape, but I thought, I know I can like ink and stamp and whatever on top of paper. I didn't want to end up with masking tape that I then couldn't do anything with. And then we can fold it over. And we haven't taken very much away from the images on these sides. And we are showing off the beautiful Edith Holden pages, liking that. But I am going to have to trim a bit off. So let's have a little look at what I might have to trim off. So it's going in the centre. It is protruding out a little bit, so we're going to take that much off. Yeah, it's not protruding out now. So I'm gonna ink a little bit on it. So I'll maybe take that page off, and then we've still got 6, although that one goes with that one, doesn't it? I've done a little cluster in the corner there. I can repeat it. So any other page that I could actually take out. I could take that one out and actually use that in a different one. That would work. So that one's got a pocket. Got a tuck. Got a fold out flap. Might put tucks in this. Put that on the back. Put that on there. Need something on the back here. Maybe. So that's worked well. So I'll do the same with the other one, but you don't need to see me do that. So I'm going to show you how I did some of these pockets. So this one's a gusseted pocket, and the one that I'm going to do here is just a flat pocket. So they're done a bit differently. I'll do this tuck again. That's just random decorating. You could make that so it was a tuck. I didn't. I stuck it all down. That's a nice little tuck there. I think that's what that is. I'm not sure. Yes, it is, because that's the butterfly and that's that. Yeah. So I'll get on. I've married those two up together. So I'll get on and do some more. So we're now going to look at how I did this pocket here that's got a bit of that's got flaps on the side, and this one that's just flat down. So the difference is that this one, there's not much movement in it, and you stop before the edge of the pocket and before the bottom, whereas this one, because it's folded in on all three sides, whatever you put in can go right to the edge and right down to the bottom, and it's got a little bit more movement here. So to do those, what I did was I went through my one-sided only pages that you've got images on one side only, and things like that. That's a lovely image for a pocket, so it only fills half the page, there's nothing on the back, and then you've got the top bit of writing. That one, that could be two pockets there, one at the top, one at the bottom. That one, not so well, or that one. So those are the potential images there. That's a lovely one. I think we'll have that as a pocket. I like that at the top, actually. That's quite a nice pocket. Pretty things on the back as well. So we'll take those two. I didn't measure, I just kind of did it by eye as to where the image was, but we have got to be a certain width across because of the width of the page. So that is, it's about 5.5 across. It's gone about 4 inches deep. So I might go for that one. So what you need to do, if we're going to tuck under the bottom, is give it an extra sort of 1/2 inch. So if we go to about 4.5 inches, particularly want to lose the top of that flower, but I don't really want these words on it. And oh, did I tuck around the top as well? Yeah, tucked a bit under the top. So we'll go to about 4 3/4. And we want it to be 5.5 wide, so we want 1/2 inch on each side, or 1/4 inch, go 1/2 inch. So we'll go to 6.5 inches here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to score 1/2 inch on these three sides. And then the top, I'm just going to go down about 1/4 inch on the top, just to give it a nice sort of neat edge, just sort of turning it over there, so it's a little bit stronger. And then these are what we're gonna turn down. And then you can just do a flat one where it doesn't matter so much. Gonna go across there for that. Still need to be about 5.5. And that's just the flat pocket needed to go directly on. So that's those two pockets. With this one, I'm going to do a little thumb hole in it. So I'm going to get my 1 inch circle punch, and it would actually get rid of that number. That's that. And then you're going to do a little bit of cutting on this. So picked up the wrong scissors then. So we're going to notch in each of these corners. So we're taking the corner off. And the same at the top. So that's just going to get glued down to there. So this is just to give a strong, neat edge. It's probably not necessary, but depending on what you're making your pockets out of, because this is quite thick paper, this Edith Holden book. But if you were doing a digital, depending on how thick your paper was that you'd print it out on, you might want to give a little bit of an extra strength to it. So here's the bone folder on those. So put the bottom one up over the two side ones, and then you've not got it to catch anything. If we did it that way, if you were putting a tag in, you got the potential to catch on that. Whereas this way, there's nothing to catch on, and it will just, whatever you put in, it will just slip down. So that's what you've got to glue to your page. I might do some extra decorating on that, like why these, a bit boring like that. I did add a few things to the pockets here. I just added a bit of a ribbon across down the bottom, although the space is up there, and on the pocket at the back I just put a ribbon round the bottom and obviously inked it. So that's what I will get done now. So that's that. So now I'm just thinking about the decoration, but I'm going to leave that for now until I'm deciding on what page they're going on. So that's those pockets done. So I've got this, so I thought I'd show you how I made that. So I've got a very large piece of sheet music. An awful lot of vintage sheet music you buy is quite large. So what I did was folded it in half. Loads of people have done these in videos. Folded in a half, folded it up. I decided to have that the right side, didn't I? Yeah. Folded it up, so we've got quarters, and then fold down. Fold the next one down, but leaving a space. Fold the next one down, leaving similar space, and then fold the last one down with a similar space, and then they fold them back on themselves. Now we've made the creases, we'll tuck them under. That can stay on the outside, or you can tuck it under like I've done there. And that's that. Obviously you could make it the other way around by turning it round, but I've done them both the same way. So then it's just a matter of decorating with the book pages how you want them decorated. Now you could leave that so you've got an upward tuck. So So yeah, and then once they're decorated, you're going to glue down these two edges and then down. So you want to glue down that edge, or rather that edge, and then this big edge, and then you've got pockets. And then you can either glue it flat to the page or glue it around the three sides, so you've got a big pocket at the back, which is probably what I'll do. So then it's a matter of looking at your images to see what you want to cover it with. So if that one's going to be a tuck, I could just put, well, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? April. Just put that along the bottom and cover that with an image. That is quite nice. Quite nice. That would work. And then you can choose whether or not you put anything on these edges or just have them as music paper. You could use some of your Edith Holden words if you wanted to, but I think I'm probably going to just leave them because that's quite nice. So that works quite well, I think. Obviously I'm going to put some other things on there, but just as a basis, that is good. I might add a butterfly to each of them. Okay, so I've cut out a little butterfly, and I've cut out these birds, swallows, possibly. I'm rubbish. And I thought that would look quite nice on there. They were together, but I didn't know if I was going to use both of them. Just the one and save that for something else. So I need to ink round all of the edges. So I'm going to do that. So now I'm just looking at the pockets that I had created and looking at decorating them. So I'm pulling out different ribbons that I've got, seeing what works. Then I remembered this sort of crochet ribbon that Stamping Up have just brought out. It's going to be in the new mini. So that's perfect. And that is some fabric glue from Boys. Really cheap, much cheaper than Fabitac. About $1.99, $2.99 a bottle, can't remember. So it seems to work really well. So quite pleased with that. A fraction of the cost. So just touching that, quite like the look. Needed to add a bit more because I'd only adhered it along the bottom section. Then a bit of doily, got to have doily, haven't you? And then just to fill that gap in the corner there. And then I remembered the words that I've made myself in Word. Just sticking them on with, and then I'm sort of looking at other images that I might stick on there. And there's a little leaf, which I thought went really well with the leaves on the pockets, and just stick that behind that word, obviously inking up. And that's just adding the finishing touches required for the pocket there, and I think that looks quite nice. And then doing the same with this pocket, bit of doily, got that sort of swallow that I'd cut out, just a little scrap of ribbon there. I only want that corner bit really to be decorated because the Edith Holden images themselves are beautiful on their own, so don't really want to cover that up too much. And then just add the little swallow, and I don't care that it's out of proportion, I just think it's quite pretty. And then I'll just do some little bit of stamping there with my Stampin' Up stamps, just to add a little bit to it to sort of finish them off. And then now I'm going to turn my attention to that flip. So, adding some doily first. Got to have a doily page. That one's ripped, so I get a new one out. And then working out where I'm going to put these pockets. So sort of using the other one as a guide, just clipping them in at the moment with paper clips so that I know where I sort of want them to go. And then that's what I used for my flip out. So I took the music paper, had it in the right orientation, and then just sort of ripped it to the right size, and then just basically folded it in three. Not really bothered too much about the measurements, and then it just going to get adhered to the corner of, the edge of the page. So I want a nice long image, one that sort of complements the book page that I'm using in the centre, sort of going through and choosing which image I want for that, and then sort of cutting it down so it fits that flap, and just ripping it. I like the rip look, and that one seems to be okay for me. I think it goes really well. Just a bit of inking, and then I've got some coffee stained lined paper, just ordinary file paper. So going to use that for in the sort of flip outs for some journaling. I think it's quite nice to have some lines when you're journaling. So one on each side, and I will also be creating pockets in those flips as well. So just using my ruler to rip those down, and then I'm going to stick them on. So I'm going to use a bit of glue stick so that there's glue on every inch of the paper, and then add in some collal to make sure that it sticks forever. I don't trust glue stick fully. So I know some people do, but I don't. And so sticking that one down, and that is more or less it done. I'll probably add some stitching. I will add some stitching. I'll probably add some stamping to that image that I'm going to adhere on. And I did stitch the other one. Yeah, there I am, inking and stamping, so that it's ready to go on. But before I stick it down, I'm just strengthening in the edge of that, which is going to be a tuck. Before I stick it down, I want to stitch round all the edges of that image. So after I've inked all these edges, I will go to my sewing machine and stitch all the edges. Oh, well, I forgot, I added a bit of ribbon, so I'll just get a bit of ribbon out there, and that will be stitched on as well. So that's it all stitched around. So now it's just a matter of gluing it down. So I'm doing it on 3 sides. So I've got a little tuck there, and that it will be attached to the book page, well, to the signature page on 3 sides as well, so that we've got a pocket there as well. Just trimming it off because it was slightly too big. And so now it needs a tab to pull. So I've got the Stampin' Up! Tab punch, and just using a bit of writing page there to stick it on. I'll probably add more of these tabs throughout the journal. I quite like the look. And so that's that section finished. So now I want a envelope to clip around. So I'm using my envelope punch board. So I was just checking what size to make it. You are limited because of the size of the book page as to the size of envelopes. But actually, I think they work out quite nice. They're about 4.5 by 3.5, I think. And yeah, and I chose that page because it matches the colour of the floral in the page I've used for the centre-fixed signature, so I thought that went quite well. And because the images are so beautiful, you don't actually have to do anything to these envelopes because they're just lovely as they is. So I'm just inking around the edges, and then that will be sort of paper clipped in. I might do some covered paper clips. That may well be a challenge later. So here is me. I'm just going to make corner tucks. So I'm taking, that was an index page. So I'm literally making it into a square and then cutting the square in half to make 2 diagonal pockets. So I've thought I'd do it so that it folded over the page and created a tuck on each side. Thought that would be interesting to do. I've never done one of them before. So I'm just inking around the edges. I'm making 2 at the same time because why not? And so I'm just then, I stitched on my machine down the edges that's going to be the diagonal bit of the pocket, and then just gluing them in place there. And then I decide that actually I'd quite like to stitch around the other edges. So I've taken the page out, and there I've stitched round the others. And now I just need to decorate. So that image is quite nice. I need images for both sides, obviously. And so just sort of fussy cutting those out to go on that tuck. And I'm deciding which one I want on the other side. I'm not fussy cutting really well. I'm just doing it. There's an edge around it. I could have ripped it. I just not being too precise about it. I don't mind inking them up, and then I'm going to need to add some more to the pockets. So I am doing a bit of inking there, and I will add some stamping as well as I normally do before I stick them on. And then of course I need a bit of doily because I like a bit of doily on my vintage journals. So adding those to it, and that will be those sort of corner tucks complete. And I'm really pleased with how they turned out. So I've never tried them before in that way. I could have just cut a triangle and stitched around and stuck it down, but I thought that's a little bit different, going round the page in that way. And I like the way the stitching's sort of worked out as well with it. So just gluing them down, and yeah, that looks quite nice. So now I'm flicking through and thinking, what shall I do next? So I decide on a belly band, and I chose that sheet because it's got a bit of a lined drawing on it, which I quite like, just a little bit different, not coloured in, and just needed to straighten that up a bit because I ripped it on an angle. So that needs an image. So just some of the pages where I've already fussy cut out, there's some leftover images that I think fits really well with that belly band there. And keeping it all, they're all fair. I'm keeping like the uniform sort of idea of an image and a doily. I think that looks good. Some I've added words to, some I may go back to adding words to. And again, in keeping with the way I've done everything else, bit of stamping, bit of inking. So it all got a sort of, it sort of flows by keeping them all similar in that way. So now just gluing them down. And I might go back and add a belly band to the other signature as well afterwards. And I might add that other corner tuck to the other signature as well. I'll have to sort of decide what I need. But for now, that is this challenge complete. This is challenge 3. So I'm just gluing these pockets in and then it's done. So that's challenge 3 complete. So I'm really enjoying this, and I'm really enjoying doing a journal in this sort of ordered sort of fashion, and enjoying using my Edith Holden instead of it just sitting on a shelf. So that's the 2 signatures and the pockets, and challenge 3 complete. Loving it. So yeah, that's the 2 signatures done. I hope you found that useful. I hope you got some little tips. I hope you'll be encouraged to have a go. I'm enjoying doing going back to my roots, so to speak. In my first journal where I'd used no digitals, just using book pages, and I just adore using this Edith Holden book. And as usual, I will have sort of close-up pictures on my blog, and I'll link down below to any of these items that you may wish to purchase in my shop. If you're in the UK or Europe, you can buy from me. And yeah, hope you like what you're seeing. Hope you're enjoying, if you're a Stampin' Up fan, my junk journaling journey. And if you join me because you like junk journaling, I hope you finding some of my other crafting interesting as well. Yeah, so I'll be back next week with the next bit of the challenge, which won't take me so long, so the video should be a bit quicker. So yeah, so I'll see you next Wednesday for another junk journaling video, and I'll see you Friday, Sunday and Tuesday for a Stampin' Up video. Okay, bye for now.